Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Good evening. Good
Yeah.
evening, sir.
Good evening.
Boss. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Bala.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening. So we'll start the classes. We'll start the classes. Shall we start the classes, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Bala, yes.
Okay. We'll start the class. Let the people come and join. I think Venkat is not having a problem. He's not able to hear my voice. Mr. Venkat, can you just log out and can you log in again? Can you log out and log in again? I think other people doesn't have the problem. Mr. Venkatesh is having a problem. Mr. Venkatesh, you try to log out and try to log in, sir, please.
I am hearing right, Mr. Bala.
Okay,
No
you're
problem.
hearing my voice, right? Okay. So no problem. We'll start the class. We'll start the class. Okay.
Okay.
So we know very well that we gone into the integration management knowledge area. So how many processes supporting the integration management knowledge area? How many process is going to support our integration management knowledge area? For your kind informations, the integration management knowledge area will be covering other three knowledge area. So once we are covering that knowledge area along with integration, we will not go with that, and we'll go with the remaining knowledge area. Like scope management will be covered, quality management will be covered, resource management will be covered. So we'll be covering this three knowledge area with the integration. It is going to integrate other knowledge area, but we'll be having the information about that other knowledge area and its process during the integration. So we'll not go with that kind of knowledge area since we are able to see the complete information in the integration. Then it will take like another 2 to 3 sessions for us to complete the integration. So how many process supports integration?
7.
7 process. So you can see the specialty in the integration management knowledge area, the project manager or the team leader should not substitute this domain area to his subordinates. Like scope management, cost management, scope management, cost management, the quality management, the resource management, the procurement, the communications, the stakeholder engagement, the risk management will be supported by his subordinates, by his colleagues, the peers. But once it is coming to the integration, project manager is having the mammoth task to perform in the integration. He should not substitute the integration management knowledge area to his subordinates, to his peers. You can see that what specialty you can see in the integration. Integration will be supporting at least one process from its side for all the process group. Integration is only one knowledge area, will be supporting at least one process from its side, which supports all the process group. From initiating to the closing, you can see each and every process it will be contributed from the integration management knowledge area. The realistic thing, you can see the integration, you need to perform at last. But since you need to initiate a project, so integration makes you to just have a process from the initiation process. So develop project charter process. That's the reason we are starting from the integration as a first chapter. Once it is coming to the domain areas, after covering the 3 chapters, the integration is having its process, which is going to support the initiation process group with one process. That's the reason we're going to put the integration as the first domain area. But in the reality, the integration will be happening at the last. We have discussed this one in the last class, that the integration has to take the contribution from other areas: scope management, cost management, quality, communication, risk management. So each and every domain area should give its contribution, then only you can integrate. So integration in the real project will be happening at the last, but it's having a process in the initiating. So we have to see the integration first, right? So we are into the process called develop project charter. Develop a project charter. You're able to see a new screen in front of you. What screen you are able to see? Hello?
Develop
Project charter.
Okay, develop project charter, right? Develop project charter. So we start with the develop project charter, and we were stopping in between. And since we are not able to cover the complete about this complete information about this process, so we know very well the importance in performing this process, why the project charter should be in place, why we need to develop the project charter. If we don't have the project charter in place, what will be the benefit we're going to lose? If the project manager is not developing the project charter, or the project manager is not getting the project charter from the management who's going to develop the project charter, what benefit the project manager will lose? What is the ultimate benefit the project manager will lose? Come on.
Authority,
Okay. No, the project manager will get his authority, right, Mr. Vinod? So where you
yes,
can
yes.
see the authority, where you can see the authoritative power in the leadership
In the
skill,
project charter,
in the project charter. So the project manager will get is a legitimate power, the authoritative power, and the positional power in the project charter. So the project charter will act as a reciprocal document between the sponsor and the project manager. If the project sponsor is not in the place, the project manager or the project sponsor, the sponsoring person always is going for a tour, is having multiple business, but is not in a position to hand over the project charter to the project manager. So who will be the person who will be giving the project charter to the project manager? Who will be the person? What is the name? What is the name given? What is the term given for that?
Project initiator.
Project initiator is a person. Project initiator is a person who issues the project charter, and is going to get his power. Is going to get his is going to get the authority from the sponsor to just give the project charter or hand over the project charter to the project manager, right? So project sponsor is not in place. The project initiator will be the person to issue the project charter. Okay. So the project manager will be getting his authority. The project manager will be getting his legitimate power, and the organization is going to announce that we are going to start a project, and what kind of project they're going to start, and who will be captaining the project, and what will be the business objective of this project, and who will be the person to make sure that business objective will be fulfilled. So you're going to just name your project name, you're going to name your project manager name, and you'll be naming, you will be coming with your objectives, your business objective. So everything will be defined in the project charter. Okay. So can we just define the information in detail at this stage? So what kind of information you can send? Can we send the detailed level of informations at this stage? This is just a genesis stage of a project. It's an initiating stage. So what level of information you're going to bring as a detail in the project charter? High level or detail level?
High level.
High level.
All the information you're going to define in the project charter will be high level. So the project charter should be a condensed document. Don't try to dump too much information in the project charter. Project charter always it should be a condensed document. Even the project is so complex in nature, or you're going to perform a state of art kind of project, or you're going to just deliver a groundbreaking deliverable. Make sure that the project charter should be a condensed document. It should not be exceeding more than 3 to 4 pages. So once you are able to go to the WhatsApp, so I send the book of forms, the first document itself, that what you need to define and what you should not define, that there will be a proper guideline for you to develop your project charter. So that information only you can develop, that information only you can define into the project charter. So the requirements are high level, the scope will be high level, the definition for your project will be high level definitions, the schedule for the project will be a milestone format, not a detailed schedule. The budget will be a summary budget, not a detailed budget. The quality will be high level. You will never find the complete stakeholder list. You can see only the key stakeholder list, and you don't have the complete information about the procurements. So all this information will be high level information. Risk will be high level risk, right? So everything will be high level. So you are not able to mention into detail level. So it's unwanted for you to dump detail level of information at this particular stage, right? Now, the project charter can't be changed. It should be static. But a minor edit and course correction you can do in the project charter. On what basis you will be making the minor edit?
Project manager changes.
Okay, if the project manager
Change order.
the project manager
Change
changes,
order.
or the stakeholder is going to the sponsor is going to change. The sponsor is going to sell this project to other sponsor, or the project manager is not willing to work. The project manager got an offer letter from the competitor. The project manager went for a surgery. the project manager is not feeling well or because of his health issues, he can't continue the project. In that case, you can't keep the same project manager and the sponsor who sold his project in the in the project charter. You need to revise the project charter. This kind of course corrections or minor edit you can do. So only this edit will be permitted. Otherwise, the project charter will be a static. Unlike other documents will be going for multiple times updation, you can't update the project charter. You need to retain the project charter in the same manner, right? Most important thing you can see in the project charter, you can see the exit criteria and you can see the success criteria. So this will be the two criteria you can see in the project charter. What should be the project exit criteria and what should be the project success criteria? This two information should be in the project charter, right? If you don't have the project charter in place, what happens? We know very well the project manager is going to get its authority. The project manager is going to get its legitimate power. If you are not able to get if you are not having the project charter, so what problem will be happening? And since we know very well that the project charter is not a business document, the project charter is not going to be a legal document. The project charter will be what? The project charter will be a formal document. It's one of the subset of your project documents. A typical project, a medium size and large size project, it will be supported with the supporting documentations. You can see at least 30 plus documents will be a supporting documents. So you can't just move your project with only the management plans. You need to have the supporting documents. We'll be seeing in the next process what will be the supporting document and how far it is differentiate with the project management plans, right? Now, my question to you guys, you have 49 process. We know very well that we're going to just use a strategy called tailor-made approach in tailoring our process, because one size will not fit for all. So depending upon the complex nature of the project, we're going to select our process and we'll be using this process. So we'll be skipping the process. Otherwise, the project is demanding you to use the complete 49 process. So we are going to select the process, what process we need to use, what process we have to omit, right? Now, one process is going to give the output. You're able to get a particular output, whether it's going to be a document, whether it's going to be a management plan, or whether it's going to be anything, you're getting as an output for the first time. And this output is used as an input in other processes. Maybe the other process belong to the different domain areas. So for example, you are getting an output from scope management. One of the process is giving you a unique output. So the output will be used by the cost management as an input. And once it is coming as an output, the output which you have taken from the scope management and used as an input in the cost management is getting updated right now. Now, still the output belongs to the original process, or since you're updating this particular output, since you're updating this input and you're bringing as an output, so it has to, so that particular process is going to take the ownership of the output. You're able to get an output. Maybe you're able to get your management plans, or you're able to get your project documents. So that project documents or management plan is used in a different domain areas. You're able to get this output from the scope, and that is used as an input in cost management. And the cost management through this process is able to update that management plans and the documents. So now this document it is belonging to the scope management, or it's getting updated. It has to be the cost management has to take the ownership. What I'm asking is clearly understood, right? Can anyone come forward? My voice is clear, right? Concise.
Bala, can you please repeat?
Okay. Now, what happened here? You are able to perform a process under the scope management, sir, and you are able to produce an output. Maybe the output may be a project management plan, or it can be the project documents. Now, this management plan, which is coming as an output in the scope management, or the document which is coming as an output from the scope management, will be used in the other knowledge area. Maybe the cost management will be taking that output and will be using as an input. Now, this input is updated in the cost management. So now once it is coming as an output, it is updated in the cost management. So that document which is produced by the scope management is getting updated in the cost management process. So this updated document, still it belongs to the scope management process, or it is updated in the cost management. The cost management will be taking as ownership. What I'm asking is clearly understood, right? For example, the scope management process, one of the process is what? Define scope. That is the process is going to define the scope, and the definition is going into a statement called scope statement. So you're able to produce the scope statement in a process called define scope statement process. Define scope process is going to give the output called scope statement. Now the scope statement is used for you to perform a process in the cost management. Now the cost management is updating the scope management scope statement. Now scope statement is coming as updated scope statement in one of the cost management process as output. Now still the scope statement is belonging to that scope management, or the scope statement will belong to the cost management. The origination is from the scope process, but it is getting updated in the cost management process. So which domain area is going to take the ownership?
Cost management, right?
So the cost management will be taking the ownership of the scope statement, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. If
Yeah. Output of the scope. Yeah.
okay, Kala ma'am. Even the scope, the time management also is going to use the same scope statement as an input to create its own output. So in the
Correct.
time management, the scope statement is getting updated.
So each process
should
has
be
to take the
scope.
ownership, right? Because
No.
scope will be baselined in the scope.
No, actually, you are not able
should
to
be with
understand.
scope.
I'm asking
Scope
you.
management one.
Yeah, Kala ma'am, see,
Okay.
there is a process called define scope. So once you start defining the scope, that means you're able to bring the detail of each and every scope of the work into a document called scope statement, right? So you're able to produce a scope statement in a process called define scope, which is happening under the scope domain area. So you're able to originate a scope statement in a scope management process. Now the same scope statement is used for you to run the process in the cost management and the time management.
Yeah.
So now the time management process and the cost management process is updating the scope statement. Now my question to you, the updation which is going into the scope statement, still that scope statement belongs to the where the process is originated, where the scope statement is originated to that process, or it is belonging to the current process which is updating it.
Should be with the original scope management.
Yes, it has to still the scope statement belongs to the original process which is going to create it. It can go for updation in multiple areas, but still it belongs to the same process where it is getting created, where it is originated. Children have the same parents. Even though the children is getting is completing his schooling, it's completing his college. So, right, the college management can't take the ownership of the child, or the school management can't take the ownership of the child. Still, the child belongs to their same parent. Is it clear or not, Ms. Kala, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Clear.
Right, clear. Okay. Now, so what are the things we are able to define in this project charter is on high level, right? Now, there is one more charter in the adaptive projects. So what is the project? What is that particular charter name? You can't see this document, this kind of charter in the predictive. You can see only one charter in the predictive projects. A predefined project will be having one unique charter. Whether you're going to break the project into multiple phases, you'll be using the same charter, and each and every phase, once it's going to initiate it, they're going to see the charter. What should be the exit criteria for this phase? What should be the success criteria for this phase? Who will be the project manager? So they're going to use the same charter. But in addition to this project charter, there is one more charter, which is very common in the adaptive environment. Can anyone name what is the name of that particular document? Hello? We have discussed this one, right? Nitin?
Team charter.
Yeah, team charter. Team charter. Please note on team charter. Team charter is one of the document you can see in the adaptive environment. So don't try to confuse yourself with the team charter and the project charter. If you have 10 teams, like 7 to 9 people is working in each and every team will be having their own charter. So what information you can see in the team charter? Don't try to underestimate the team charter. You will be getting nearly 4 to 7 questions on team charter. So what information are you going to define in the team charter? Why it is necessary for you to have the team charter in addition to the project charter? In the project charter, you can't see the information about your team. You'll be seeing the information about the stakeholders. who will be your steering committees, who will be your contractors, who will be your client. So this kind of information will be there. So you can't see the complete team information, but team charter will be having its own definitions. So what are the things you are able to define into the team charter? Why the team
Roles and
charter?
responsibilities of the
Huh?
team members.
Huh?
Roles and responsibility of the team members.
Yes, no, roles and responsibility you'll be seeing in the resource management plan. In the organizational breakdown structure, where you can see there's something called a RACI chart, or you'll be having something called RAM matrix. So that we'll be seeing in the resource management. So the roles and responsibility you can see. Each and every management plan will be having its own roles and responsibilities. Please note the first information you can see in the team charter is what is this? Ground rules. Ground rules is a very important criteria you are able to define, that people is able to define, the team is able to define into the team charter. So each and every team will be having its own charter. They need to just define the guidelines. One of the important guidelines will be the ground rules. What do you mean by ground rules? Anyone?
Communication. How to
No,
communicate.
what do you
with
mean by ground rules?
Rules.
Rule we are defining. Yeah.
And what to do, how
Okay,
to
good.
behave, how
Okay.
to follow
Basic
the-
process which to be followed.
Yes, please note on the ground rules is nothing but the acceptable behavior by everyone. Acceptable behavior. What should be an acceptable behavior for each and every one? What is accepted and what should be not accepted? So you are able to bring a ground rules that should be defined in the team charter. What else you're going to define in the team charter? Please note the second one is going to be communication protocols. Communication protocols will be the important. After the ground rules, you need to make sure that communication protocol should be properly followed. If you're going to send a team for a seminar or you're going to send a team for an important meeting for the client organization, the team has to select their nominee. They're going to select their representative. Only one person has to speak for the entire group. So each and every team member in the team will be getting their chance. So each and every meeting or a seminar, the team will be nominating their own team leader or a team representative. So this person will be voiceovering for the entire team. He will become a representative for the entire team. So the communication protocol, right? The third one is very important thing is that conflict resolution techniques or conflict management. This one. Conflict resolution techniques or conflict management. How to resolve the conflicts. The conflict is neither good or neither bad, right? Conflict is something you need to make sure that you need to listen to the other people concerned. So once the conflict is going to rise between the two team members working in the same team, so now who has to resolve the conflicts? Who will be the
Project manager.
The project manager and the team leader should not come into these situations. Once it is escalated, then you need to come into the scenario. The team themselves is responsible to resolve the conflict among themselves. If the team is not able to find a proper resolution, then the project manager has to come into the scenario, or the team leader has to come into the scenario, or the scrum master has to help to find out proper resolutions. So they do have the ready-made resolutions for managing the conflicts. If the team is not able to manage the conflicts, what happened to the team environment? What happened to the team dynamics? What happened to the productivity of your project? If the team is not able to find a proper resolution for the conflicts, they keep on conflicting for something. So one person is not listening to the decision of other person is not listening to the viewpoint of others. So you're not able to make resolutions. So the people is not able to, the people are not working for the shared goals. Each and every person will be having its own views and own things to do. So there's no cooperation between the team. So once there is no cooperation between the teams, you can't see the productivity within the team, and the entire team will be losing its velocities. They are not able to integrate their work with other teams. So the entire iteration will have the collapse. So if you have the conflicts, make sure that it should not reduce the productivity of the team. It should not reduce the productivity of the entire people who's working for that particular iterations. So you need to just come with your resolutions, right? So that resolution will be used for you to manage your conflicts. It will be reducing the animosity. What do you mean by animosity? Always conflict resolution will be reducing the animosity. It will not increase the animosity. What do you mean by animosity? The meaning for the animosity is nothing but vengeance. It's a personal vengeance. So the vengeance should not be increased between the team members. So once the vengeance is there, you can't get your results. It makes the complete team to lose its productivity, right? So now who has to enforce the other thing is that norms. Norms is one of the important criteria. Norms is one of the important criteria. Procedures is one of the important criteria. Communication protocols, procedures, norms, and the conflict resolution techniques, and the ground rules. So these all the things should be properly defined into the team charter. So the management is giving the opportunity for the team member to define their own guidelines as a ground rules. If you're going to give this authority to the team to develop their own charter, you know very well, the decision they make as a guideline into the team charter, they'll be taking the ownerships. So now who will be the person to enforce the ground rules, which is defined in the team charter, and who will be the person to reinforce it? Who is the enforcing party and who is the reinforcing party? Who has to enforce it and who has to reiterate it?
Members.
Huh? Please.
The team members.
Who has to enforce it? Team members or the team leader? And who has to reiterate it or reinforce it? Enforcement is having a different meaning and reinforcement is having a different meaning. So who has to enforce it and who has to reinforce it? Why I'm saying this one? Because they keep on asking the question that who has to enforce the guideline you brought as the ground rules in the team charter? Who has to enforce it and who has to reinforce it? The team you're going to bring for a meeting, a very important meeting with the client and the owner organization, the team is not having the basic knowledge, the basic sense to behave. People are shouting at each other. Everyone is taking the response. Everyone is just taking the responsibility as a leader. So everyone is voicing out. So there is a confusion.
Team members has to enforce, and Scrum Master has to reinforce.
Yes, what you said is 100% correct. Please be very cautious. The team themselves has to enforce it. If the person is not following the guideline, there should be someone has to someone has to reinforce the team to follow the guideline. So the enforcement should be coming from the team member themselves. The reinforcement should come from the team leader or the project manager, right? Because you know very well why the team charter is mandatory document. You don't have the reporting relations for the adaptive environment. There's no reporting relations. Like you can see in the predictive environment, you need to have the reporting relations. So the people has to report the status and the progress of the project to the project manager or the line managers. But here there's no reporting relations. So the team is not having any, the people is not having the control over the developers. The Scrum Master role is that he has to take a servant role and he has to give the feasible environment for the team to just develop the feature which is assigned to them. So the team member will be utilizing this feasible environment, and if there is no person is monitoring them, you know very well, sometimes the people will change their mentality as a tribal mentality. So the tribal mentality is a barbaric mentality or barbaric behavior. If the people is going to have the tribal mindset, what happens? You're able to get your outputs. You're able to achieve what you want to achieve. You're able to fulfill the objectives. If the people is having a tribal mindset. So in order to avoid the people to go towards a tribal mindset, the organization is giving the opportunity for the team member to define their own ground rules. So each and every person is having a chance to bring their own guidelines. What is accepted for me and what is not accepted for me? What is accepted for you from my side? What is not accepted for you from my side? So all the things are clearly defined in the team charter. So don't never confuse with the team charter with the project charter. Project charter is a formal document that will be giving the authority to the project manager, and team charter is going to have the ground rules and various kind of communication protocols, conflict resolution techniques, the norms, the conditions, everything will be defined by the team themselves, right? So the enforcement should come from the team who's going to define the charter. The reinforcement has to come from the team leader or the project manager if the team is not following the charter guidelines, team charter guidelines, right? Any doubts you have? No, right? Right?
It's fine, sir. So,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So now we have 49 process and I will not repeat this one. So this will be the common tool and technique. Expert judgment and meeting will be the common tool and technique for all the 49 process. Expert judgment and meeting will be the common tool and technique for all the 49 process. So once it is coming to the expert judgment, you need to know who will be the expert will be helping for that process. He'll be a subject matter expert, right? He'll be a consultant. He'll be a technical and professional association members, industry group, or the regulators, exhibitors, the co-project managers, the resource managers, the risk managers, the steering committee, the sponsor, the client, high-level executive team. So this will people will become an expert. Now you have taken a complete building, and all the 20 floors you should do a furnishing work. Before occupying, you can see that is a completely unfurnished. All the 20 floors should be properly furnished. Now, who is going to serve as an expert? Will be defining the task. What are the tasks we need to perform for completing the furnishing work? Who becomes the expert here?
Facility manager.
Huh?
Somebody facility manager having knowledge of facility.
Okay, knowledge. The facility manager will be a subject matter expert here. What about the interior architect?
Yes.
What about
Interior
the
designer.
What about the designers, interior designers? What about the carpenters, the chief carpenters? So these people will be defining the task for that particular process, how to what task to perform. So they are able to define the task. So they become a subject matter expert. So each and every process will be having its own subject matter experts. And meeting will be having a different kind of meetings. Adaptive environment will be having its own meetings, and the predictive environment will be having its own meeting. We will not call the name as a meeting in the adaptive environment. We'll be calling this one as a ceremonies. Or we'll be calling this one as a cadence. So there will be 4 ceremonies within each and every iteration. Can anyone list out the 4 iterations? Sorry, can anyone list down the 4 ceremonies? Ceremonies and cadence are called as a meetings. They will not use the word as meetings. They will be calling there is a ceremony or there is a cadence. There will be 4 ceremonies within each and every iteration. So anyone can list down in a proper order. Anyone? How are you going to start an iteration? Guys, you have
Iteration review.
No. Why you want to go the review? You never planned anything, and how are you going to do the review? Give me in the proper order. Iteration planning, right? What is the other name given in the Scrum? Vijay? What is the other name given to the Scrum environment?
Is it sprint?
Sprint.
Sprint
They're going to use the
planning.
word called sprint planning. They're going to plan for the complete iterations, right? How many teams is going to work and what is the size of the team and what how many features for that particular product line, right? So what all the features will be going into the product backlog and what all the features will be going into the sprint backlog. So they're going to do the level of estimate, and for each and every level of estimate, they're going to perform the task. How many tasks is need for you to complete each and every feature. So all this will be planned in the iteration planning meeting. So will be the participants. Will be the participant here. The team leader will be a participant. Product manager will be the product participant, or product owner will be the participant. The developers or the team members, right? So this will be the people. Right or wrong, guys?
Yes.
Okay, what will be the second ceremony?
Daily stand up.
Okay, daily stand up, right? Daily stand up. Don't ever forget this one. Daily stand up. What is the other name given for the Scrum? Daily Scrum, right? So how many minutes?
10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes. So what is this 10 to 15 minutes? You're going to cap this one, right? You're going to seal your time, right? So it is called as a time boxed. So the event are properly time boxed, right? So daily scrum. What is the third one? The participant for this daily stand up or a daily scrum will be who? the Scrum Master and the developers or the team members. What is the third cadence or ceremony? The pitches are ready. Huh?
Sprint review. Iteration review or sprint review.
Okay, sprint review. So other name is given as what? Product review
Demo
Product review
or product.
or demo, right? Demo, product review, demo review, or it can be iteration review or sprint review. So who will be the participants? The product owners and the developers. What is the last cadence before you going to complete an iteration and moving to the next iteration? The last retrospective, or we're going to call this one as a sprint retrospective in the Scrum environment, right? So 3 people will participate: a team leader, developers, and the product owners. So what went well, what is not working out well in this iteration, and what will be the further recommendation? What will be the future recommendation for you to have the improvements in your future iterations? So all things will be properly discussed, lessons learned will be properly updated, and they're going to close that iteration. They will be moving for a new iterations. Okay. Now, in the case of the predictive environment, which is a plan-driven approach, you are able to predict the things as your output clearly. So you'll be going with the detailed plans. So this project will have a meeting called a kickoff meeting. Where are you going to perform the kickoff meeting? Where are you going to perform the kickoff meeting? Kickoff meeting will be performed during the initiation phase of your project or the closing or the planning phase.
Initiation.
Initial before the project.
Kickoff meeting will be happening during the initiation phase of your project only for the small projects. A very small project.
For execution?
Before execution,
Execution.
team members, the planning team and the execution team will be having a meeting. The execution team will be clarifying the doubts and everything. Once it's clarified, before they do the execution, the meeting, high-level meeting will be performed under the leadership of project manager, the sponsor and the steering committees, the owners, the client organization. So this meeting is called as a kickoff meeting. Always a kickoff meeting in a larger project will be happening before the things are executed. Is it clear? So what other meetings you will be having? What other meetings you'll be having? You don't have a status review meeting. You don't have the progress review meeting. What is the difference between status review and progress review? Both are same or both are having a different meaning? What do you mean by status review meeting and what do you mean by progress review meetings? The status review meeting, please note the status review meeting, or it's going to show the current status, current cost status, and current schedule status. The progress review meeting will make sure that what will be a future progress, how the project will progress in future. So that will be the progress review meetings, right? Okay. You're going to acquire your team. The complete team is acquired. The complete team is ready with the team directory. So now what will be the role of project manager? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to acquire the complete team. Now you got the complete team and you are able to get your team directory, who's going to take what place and who's going to take what role. You are having the complete team directory. And what is the next thing you're going to do? The team members you're going to acquire as a new team member who's a fresher or who's going to come from a different company, and they're going to work with you. It's a global environment and it's a different environment. Culture difference will be there, and you need to work with the team. All the 5 fingers will be the same size. All the team members will be having the same skill sets. All the team members will be having the same skill set to work for the project.
No.
So what are you going to do? Once you acquire a team and you have the complete team list, what are you going to do? You got the complete team, you given the team complete team assignments. So what is the next thing as a project manager has to do? You're checking the skill set of each and every people, and each and every skill set is not matching with others, but everyone has to work for the same deliverables. So what are you going to do? What process you need to perform?
Train.
Yeah.
Training needs to be given.
The process you're going to develop team process.
Develop team. Okay.
You are able to perform a process after acquiring your team. You need to do a process called develop team process. So you're going to train the people by giving them a formal training, by giving them an informal training, or you're going to bring a trainer that will be a OJT, on the job training. So you're going to give a training for your people. It can be an administrative training, it can be a management related training, or it can be a technical training. So you're going to provide the training, and you're going to match the skill set of the people by covering the gaps, training gaps. Right? Please note on this. You will be conducting a meeting called team development meetings or team building meetings. This can be called as a team development meetings or team building meetings. You're able to build your team by giving them a formal and informal training. Right? So this is an important meeting. Okay. The project has reached to the final stage, and you're going to close your project. You're going to finalize the last activity for that particular phase or last activity for that particular iterations. So what kind of meeting you're going to perform? You'll be performing the two kind of meetings. You'll be performing two kind of meeting. You'll be having a meeting with your client, whether the client is okay with your product, whether the client shows what? The client shows what? The client shows happiness, right? They are happy with your output. So you are able to test with your client, right? So please note down. So once you going to complete this meeting is called as customer wrap out meeting. Please note on this. What is that? Customer wrap out meeting. So once you are closing the meeting with the customer and going to take the customer feedback, and you'll be having a meeting with your team members, and you'll be asking the team members whether the final report for the project is ready, whether everything is archived and indexed properly, and whether you are able to update your lessons learned registers, whether you're able to bring into an appropriate repositories. So you will be performing a meeting before you're going to close the last activity and redeploy your resources. That meeting is called as a lessons learned meetings. Very important thing, please note this lessons learned meeting. This is a meeting called as a retrospective meeting. In the adaptive environment, in the predictive environment, they're going to call this one as a lessons learned meetings. Okay. Now, we gone through the meeting and we'll not look after this expert judgment and meeting. Now, there's something called a meeting management. So how far the meeting management is differed with the other meetings? What do you mean by meetings and meeting management? Because meeting management may be used as one of the important techniques for you to develop your charter. Because we know that we gone through the business case that is giving the justification, and you need to make sure that you need to appoint a person called BRM, Benefit Realization Manager. The role is that he has to track the benefits are realized for both the organization and for the client, whether the client is able to use the benefits, when the benefit will be realized, whether after completing the project, after the handover, after 3 months, after 6 months, after 1 year, he has to track this one. So you will be having a role called BRM. So this particular person will not from the project management side. This particular person will be an operations side. BRM. Take this information because this role right now is a juicy role. Many corporate companies and conglomerate companies, multinational companies is creating this kind of role called business realization manager, which is nothing but BRM. So BRM is from the operations side. He has to track whether the benefits are properly hand over to the customer. They are able to use that benefit. They are able to sustain the benefits. So you'll be naming a BRM, a person responsible to track the benefits. Right? Project manager is not the person. They are going to ask the examination point of view. Benefit management plan will be the what role you can see inside the benefit management plan. The benefit realization manager. This person has to realize when the benefit will be realized, when the benefit will be taken by the customer, what kind of benefit they're going to take, whether the benefit will be a long-term benefit or short-term benefit, whether they are able to use that benefit, whether they are able to sustain the benefits. So they need to track all this kind of informations. So many corporate companies is going to create a new job listing called a benefit realization manager, BRM post, right? And agreements, it can be a formal agreement, it can be a legal agreement. A request for proposal will be a legal agreements. A letter of intent will be a formal agreements. Purchase order may be a legal or not illegal. Email confirmation may be a formal. So it is a mix of formal and it can have a legal things binding. So we call that one as a common theme as an agreement. Enterprise various factors, regulatory factors, your infrastructure, your organization culture, the structure of the organization where you work, the weather conditions, whether it's feasible for you to start the project, whether it's very good, whether it's not very good. So whether the project is able to comply with the government regulations, Administration processes and various lessons learned register, how they are able to develop the project charter, what they have to define, what they should not define. They can take a template. So all the things are kept as an input here, right? So coming to this one, what do you mean by meeting management? Give me the answer, guys. What do you mean by meeting management?
Coordinating for the meeting to be held within
What's
within
that?
a
What's
time
that?
limit.
What's that?
Conducting a meeting within time limit and on
Yes,
scheduled days.
please note down. The meeting management is something like it is going to focus the timeline. It is going to focus the agenda. The first thing they're going to focus is the clear agenda. The meeting should have its purpose. What a topic we need to speak on the meeting, the topic will be selected. That will be the agenda. And who will be the participant will be invited for this meeting. And how long this meeting will go? It will take like 30 minutes, it will take 1 hour, it will take 2 hours to complete. So you need to give the clear timeline and you need to bring only the appropriate audience. Any extraneous information will not be discussed, that will be taken as separate note. And you need to give a concurrence that this will be discussed in the future projects, future meetings. You will not speak any kind of extraneous information, only you're going to take a note and that will be used for you to conduct a further meetings on the extraneous topic. No criticism, only the constructive information will be welcomed. And once the meeting is completed, meeting door is open, someone should be nominated from the team leader or project manager to send the minutes of meetings. So this is called as a meeting management. Is it clear, everyone, guys? Is
Yes.
it clear, everyone?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. But what is happening in the predictive project, they are not following a time box to the meeting events. What they are doing, you doesn't know who will be your audience. You'll be calling everyone for a meeting. And everyone is going to participate in the meeting. And everyone is going to come with their viewpoints. And you doesn't know how to conclude it, what action to take, and what you have chosen, what decision you have chosen. So you're going to leave the meeting. And once it is reaching to the lunch time, you'll be calling the person, you'll be calling someone to order for the food. And you're going to convert that meeting hall as a messy one. And you will not having any kind of resolution. You will not go with any kind of actions. You will not come with any kind of decisions. You are not able to conclude something. You are not able to take a proper decision. So this kind of meeting is happening. So you need to have a meeting management, or you need to follow something called time boxed events, right? Okay, you're ready? Okay, so now the tools and techniques, we should have a broader look. So now until the 5th edition, as we said in the last class, it's not so customized. Right now, the tools and techniques are so customized and they are able to put in a proper order. So how they're going to arrange? They're going to bring that one into 4 categories. The first one is data gathering. Data gathering. Then the second category will be data analysis. The third one is decision-making technique. Decision-making technique. The fourth one is data representation technique. How we are able to communicate your data to your audience. Data representation technique. So what all the tool and technique will be coming into this category? They brought very important 4 categories. Data gathering, data analysis, decision-making, and data representations. Right? Can we go? Can we move forward?
Yes.
Okay, now, so data gathering. So the relevant data gathering, that means without gathering the data, you are not able to do any kind of data analysis or data assessments. So you need to gather the data. So what technique will be used for you to gather the data? The first one is that brainstorming. This is very important technique. Please be very cautious. Brainstorming is going to be a common technique. Why they mention as a tool? The tool will be, it can be a full scale paper, or you're going to give a marker pen, or you're going to write the ideas in the board. So board will be whiteboard will be one of the tool. The whiteboard marker will be one of the tool, or you'll be giving the full scale paper with a pen and pencil. So that will be a tool for them to bring the ideas. So data gathering, the brainstorming will be the first ever technique. The tool will be this, and that will be supporting your brainstorming technique. So someone has to storm the brain of the audience. Someone has to storm the brain of the audience. So who will be the person to storm the brain of the audience? Who will be the appropriate person to do a brainstorming technique? Project manager, team leader, scrum masters, steering committees, sponsor, owner of the organization. So who will be the appropriate person you're going to use for you to brainstorm? You need to conduct the brainstorming session. You need to storm the brain. You need to collect various insights. You need to collect valuable ideas. Brainstorming will not focus on the quality of the ideas. Always the brainstorm will just focus on the quantity of the ideas. More the ideas, it will take a radical approach for you to pick up which one you need to pick up and which one you need to select and which one you need to implement. So it's going to focus on the quantity of ideas, not the quality of the ideas. For you to know about the brainstorming, because before 1950, they will not call this particular technique as a brainstorming technique. They will be calling this one as a group creativity technique. You're able to form a group and that particular group will be making an ideas. So they're going to call this one as a group creativity technique before 1950s. But a salesperson called Alex Osborne Fakeney. So this guy is a sales guy. So he has changed the name as a group creativity to brainstorming. He has written two very important books on the brainstorming. So one edition was published in 1950, early 1950, and the other edition was published in the late 1950s. So the late 1950 about the brainstorming and the various type of brainstorming session was a wonderful book, and many people were loving that book. They went crazy behind this book. They know the complete information to utilize the brainstorming techniques. So the book which is written, you can Google it right now and you can search. That one is called as the Applied Imagination. So the book which is written by Alex Fakeney Osborne in late 1950 about the brainstorming and brainstorming techniques and group creativity technique. So that book name is called Applied Imaginations. So that was a very good book which was circulated in many numbers. In the late 1950s, he brought a book called Applied Imagination about this group creativity technique, which is nothing but the brainstorming technique. What all the various kind of brainstorming and how you are able to collect the ideas from the people using various kind of brainstorming techniques, right? So this is the brainstorming. So who has to do the brainstorming? The goal for us to get the valuable insights, valuable ideas, to storm the brain from the audience, and you have to get the valuable ideas. Then only you can assess which ideas are very good ideas. Then you have to take a decision and you have to represent to your management. Please note on this one, in the risk management exam question, after you plan your risk management plan, after you're done with your risk management plan, you define the risk management plan in detail. What is the next thing you have to do in identifying the risk process? So after you're done with your risk management plan and the risk management plan got its approval and it is integrated with other management plans, you have to perform the identify risk process. So what is the first technique you need to perform to identify the risk? Give me the answer. Please come out with your answer. Hello, guys, you are there?
Yeah,
But
Okay. You are there, right?
is that brainstorming?
Brainstorming. Please don't ever forget this one. The correct idea, the correct technique should be, the correct technique you have to select from the available option is a brainstorming. The technique is a correct technique for you to select. After you're done with your risk management plan and the people are proceeding for risk identification process, what is the first ever technique they need to perform to identify the risk? Brainstorming. Don't ever forget this one. So coming back to my question, you never given your answer. So what is the correct answer? Who will be the particular person to conduct the brainstorming sessions?
Whole team? Or
team,
Okay, team. Okay. Please note down. Always it is advisable for you to use a person called external facilitator. You need to use a person called external facilitator. He has to conduct the brainstorming session. Why external facilitator should be used for the brainstorming sessions? What happens if you're going to use a person from internal? What happens if you're
Biased.
going to use a person internal? Huh?
Will be prejudice.
They may be
Biased.
Bias.
The person will just slant either side, right? So you need to get an unbiased things. So external, a skilled facilitator is a person to do the brainstorming sessions. Always it is advisable for many organizations to use an external facilitator to conduct the training session, the brainstorming sessions. And please note on, he has to be supported by a person. He should not miss anything from his agenda. So you need to conduct the proper brainstorming sessions and he has to collect all the ideas and he should not miss anything from the list. So along with the facilitator, you need to just appoint a person called note taker. Note taker. Right? He has to just know about whether the person is going with the agenda, is following the agenda or is missing something. He has to remain the facilitator to just go with this particular things. Not to skip the agenda, not to skip this particular thing. So he has to follow all the guideline steps. Right? Now, if you're going to perform the brainstorming session, what you can't avoid? If you're going to, even though you're going to use an external facilitator, what you are not able to avoid?
Conflicts.
Yes, conflicts. Conflicts, because people will be coming with their own viewpoints. People will say, do you know that what background I'm having? How many years of experience I'm having in the field? So you are a child in compared to me. You are very small in compared to me. Don't try to come too near to my proportions. I have so much of work experience. But what happens if you're going to put 4 Arabic people into a brainstorming sessions? 4 people are having the equal share and equal equity in the company, and they're going to run a project. And before running a project, you need to collect the ideas from them. So it is very easy for you to just bring the people into a single roof. You have project managers, you have other audience. So what if you're going to call them, what they say? No, I'm busy, don't disturb me. Allah, right? But what happens if you're going to bring that people? The brainstorming session will be conducted very faster, right? But what you can't avoid? If you're going to put 4 people having the same experience, what happens?
Ego.
Yeah, please note, you are not able to avoid something called backlash. You are not able to avoid something called a backlash. So a particular person is going to avoid the backlash and make the people to concentrate on the agenda which is given, the assignment which is given, and he is going to reduce the animosity between the people and is going to use the conflict resolution technique to stop this backlash. Will be the external facilitator. He will be the person to give the honest and open environment. So the people are having he's going to take the trustworthy from the person. Once he's going to earn the trustworthy, the people will come with the open and honest communications. The people are so open and the people will be coming with the honest communication, and the external facilitator is going to earn his trustworthy. So he'll be the person to avoid the backlash. And the brainstorming session is so faster once you're going to assemble all the audience, and very easily the facilitator will reach to the consensus. If you're going to bring the audience and you're going to collect the ideas, and this you're going to do this one in several rounds until the facilitator is going to feel that he has reached to the consensus, then you're going to go, you will be closing the brainstorming sessions. Right? Now, there is a different kind of brainstorming sessions. Now we have 10 people. And I am the facilitator. I'm going to run the brainstorming session. I will be giving you a topic, and this is the agenda for us to have a discussion. And I'll be starting with Mr. Rajendra Panchgai. So he understood the agenda and the topic, and he's going to come with the ideas. And next to Mr. Rajendra, Arman is sitting. And based on Rajendra feedback, he's going to add an idea on top of that. And the third, I'm going to pass to Mr. Vijay Babu. And fourth, I'll be passing to Faisal, and fifth, I'm passing to Nitin, and sixth, I'm passing to Venkat, and after that, Kala. And I'll be passing to all the people. Please note, this kind of brainstorming session is called as a group passing technique. Why we need to look on all this? Because the 74 question is going to target your performance on the people skills. So all the things will be coming under the soft skills. So group passing technique is one of the brainstorming techniques. right? Group passing technique is one of the brainstorming sessions. Now, what happened here? I'm going to assemble all the people, and we have only one lady contributions. So Ms. Kala is going to come forward. But what Kala, she is saying that before starting the session that I'm so scared, people will make a fun on me, people will make a mockery on me. I'm so scared. Can you give me a full scale paper? I can understand the agenda. I can write. I can just I can take into my brain, and my ideas will be coming into the papers. So can give me a pen and paper. I will not voice out, but I'll be giving in writings. Please note down. This kind of brainstorming session is called as a brain writing. Brain writing. Other audience are there, they are giving their ideas, they are able to come with a vocal, but only Kala, she is feeling scared or feeling some sort of shyness. She is not able to come voice out. She is requesting the facilitator to give a paper and pen so she can write the ideas. So once she is writing the complete ideas, once the things are completed, before implementation, the person can read through the ideas what Ms. Kala has written in the paper. So this kind of brainstorming session is called as a brain writing. Brain writing is one of the important technique which is used for you to identify your stakeholders. Write this information also in your notepad. Brain writing is one of the brainstorming sessions or technique which is used for you to identify stakeholders. Right? Okay. Everyone is here, right? Everyone is here, right? Arman, Vijay Babu,
Yes,
Fasil,
yes, yes.
everyone is here, right? Now, assume that Rajendra Panchpai is an elderly person and he is our manager. I am a facilitator brought externally by your organization. Everyone is working for the same company. And we need to run a brainstorming sessions. But Vijay Babu is so scared because Rajendra Panchbai is a senior, is a reporting manager. Fazil Ahmed also is having the same feeling. Nitin is also having the same feeling. Varun also is having the same feeling. And Kalashi is also having the same feeling. No, I don't voice over or voice out my ideas in front of my senior. I think that he's a threat for me. So I'm not able to come with this one. But you can just give me the agenda. So I can sit in my office or I can sit in my project site office. I can email to you. So how the brainstorming session is running right now? Is running anonymous or it's running in anonymous,
sure.
right?
Yes.
Please note down. This kind of brainstorming session is called as Delphi technique. Delphi technique. So in the examination point of view, they're going to ask you if you're going to run the brainstorming session, making the participant not meeting each other. It's done in an anonymous round. So what is the name of that particular brainstorming session? You have to name this one is called as a Delphi technique. So you can use this kind of technique and it will be reducing the backlash between the audience, right or wrong? You can't see the conflicts because the facilitator will just cover the information about the audience who has given the ideas. Ideas will be keep on added, but people doesn't know who has given these ideas. So one idea is taken from Mr. Rajendra and is sent to his subordinate. Arman is going to be a reporting staff and he doesn't know Mr. Rajendra has given this idea. So he's going to add that idea on top of that. So I'm going to cover Mr. Arman and Rajendra. I'm going to send to the third person, Vijay Babu. Vijay Babu is going to add the idea. I'm going to take the information about the Vijay Babu and I'm added 3 ideas. I'm going to send to the fourth person, Fazil. So Fazil is going to add his idea and I'm going to take to Kala. Kala will be adding their idea. So each and every person is going to add the ideas until the facilitator is going to feel consensus. Okay, I reached to my consensus point. I can stop this. The participant doesn't know, but only the facilitator knows who's the participant who has given this kind of ideas. So this kind of brainstorming session is called as a Delphi technique, which is run in the anonymous way. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Coming to the focus group. So what is the difference between the focus group and the facilitation? You know, the facilitation is a technique is done by the facilitator, right? Done by the facilitator. You're going to bring a facilitator, external facilitator. You're going to run the facilitations. But what is the focus group? Focus group also is one of the important facilitation technique. But why it is a focus group? Because the person who's going to facilitate, who's going to conduct this this meeting with the audience is called as a not a facilitator, is going to call as, we're going to call this person as a moderator. So they're going to ask in the examination of point of view, facilitation technique will be done by the facilitator. The brainstorming technique, everything will be done by the facilitator. But the focus group is going to focus about the moderator. Moderator is going to run the show. We're going to call the person as a moderator. Right? So what kind of meeting this meeting is that? How we are able to gather the data from the audience? The participants are minimized. The participant head counts are minimized. You will not call more than 6 to 8 people. Important head counts will be called for this meeting. A steering committee, executive committee, regulatory authorities, or anyone is having a very key stake, advocates, the contract manager, professional, commercial managers. So any important person in that particular organization will be called for the meetings. The head counts are limited. They'll be discussing about the return on investments. They'll be discussing about the output of the projects, whether the team can, whether the organization can complete the project on a given time. So what kind of product you are able to, what type of product you are able to expect from the outcome, whether the product will be accepted by the client or not. So the important discussion will be going on the important area, and only the important head counts will be attending this kind of meeting under the leadership of a moderator. So this kind of show is called as a focus group. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
So moderator also from external or
No, you can use the external moderator or internal moderator. It's up depending upon your things. Moderator, they are not giving the focus. Whether they ask you to say, you can go with an external moderator. That's no problem.
Okay.
Right? You're going to bring the facilitator, but you're going to name as a moderator there.
Okay.
Even the facilitator, the same facilitator will be acting as a moderator, and you will be having a meeting with an important head counts. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Now come to the interview. So you need to gather the information by just asking the question, like how you're going to ask the question to the newcomer or who's going to attend the interview with you guys. So interview will be one of the important data gathering techniques. And please just divide the interview into 2 sections. Please note it. One will be interview. The other one will be one minute. One will be a complete interview. Other one will be a partial interview. One will be a complete interview. Other one will be a semi or partial interview. Right? So what is the difference between this one? A complete interview and a partial interview, a semi-interview. One will be a full structured interview. Sorry. One will be a full structured interview. And the other one is a semi-structured interview. So how we are able to differentiate a semi-structured with a partial, with a full structured interview, complete structured interview. Semi-structured way of conducting interview and full structured way of conducting interview. So how we are able to differentiate these 2 techniques? So I will just say that, take this one of the semi-structured way of conducting interview and the complete way of conducting an interview is that the person who is going to conduct the interview with this audience will not miss anything from his agenda. You'll be having a clear prior agenda and he'll be bringing his valuable points and he'll be going through his points and he'll be going through the agenda. You will not miss anything from the agenda. What question should be asked? Whether the question should be open-ended questions or whether the question should be a multiple choice questions or whether the question should be a closed type question. So you'll be coming with a clear agenda. You'll be going through the complete agenda. Nothing will be missed from his agenda. So that will be the complete structured way of conducting interview. Semi-structured way of conducting interview, he is going to come with an agenda, but he was never expected the audience will be coming with this kind of insights. He never expected. He was expecting the audience to give some insight, but this is a valuable insights. Each and every insights are most welcoming insights. He never expected. So what happened? He's going to crush his agenda into a dustbins and he's going to turn towards the audience. So he's not following his agenda. That is called as a semi-structured way of conducting interview and complete structured way of conducting interview. Is it clear or not, guys? Is it clear?
So can you one more time? Can you?
Structured way of conducting interview and semi-structured way of conducting interview. The structured way of conducting interview, the person who's going to interview the audience, like a facilitator, you're going to bring a facilitator to conduct an interview. He just understand what he has to ask. So he'll be preparing his questions. What will be the type of questions he should ask with the audience? Who will be his audience? Whether the questions are open-end questions or closed type questions, whether the questions are multiple choice questions. So he'll be deciding that one in first. So he'll be going by question by question. He'll be starting with the very light questions. Then he'll be coming with a slightly difficulty will be added. Then he'll be asking more difficult level of question at the end of the interview. So he'll be doing the interview with his audience in the structured way. But semi-structured way of conducting interview, you would have come with a complete agenda, what I said right now, but he was never expected the audience to give this valuable insights. He never expected. Each and every audience is adding a lot of informations, a lot of innovating and creativity things is added. He was never expected. So he doesn't want to follow his agenda. Is it clear or not? Vinod? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, so semi-structured way of conducting interview and structured way of conducting interview is having this difference. Okay, now my question to you, what else we can add under the data gathering? What else we can add under the data gathering? Only the brainstorming sessions and different kind of brainstorming sessions, like group passing technique, like Delphi technique, like a brain writing, or focus group using a moderator, interview, conducting a semi-structured interview or structured way of conducting interview with your facilitator. Can you add some more thing for you to gather the data from the audience?
Lesson learned.
Lessons learned will be coming from the OPA, right, Nitin? What technique you can add? What else you can add under the data gathering technique? Guys, can we add this under the data gathering? Can we add this technique? What is this?
Benchmarking.
Benchmarking. Please note, benchmarking is one of the important data gathering techniques. So once you're planning your quality management plans, benchmarking will be one of the important data gathering techniques. What do you mean by benchmarking? How are you able to benchmark? Huh? What is called as a benchmarking, guys? Most of the production industries or operational industries will be using this kind of technique called benchmarking. What do you mean by benchmarking?
Industry standards.
What's that?
Industry standards.
Industry standards, right?
Reference point.
Okay, now what happened here in Qatar, once the international flight is landed, there will be a long queue to clear the immigrations, right? So it will take like a 30-45 minutes for the people to clear their immigrations. There are a lot of hurdles. People has to stand, you should not sit, there's no chair for the people to sit. Old people will come. The women who are carrying the babies, they struggle to stand in a long queue to clear the immigrations. So one day, the royal family, the emir has come into the airport and he's seeing that people are struggling to clear the immigrations. He wants to speed up the immigrations. So he's calling his civil aviation authorities to just collect the data, which airport in international destiny is clearing the immigration within 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So these people collecting the data and they're saying that Japan is one of the important country. They are able to clear the immigration within 5 to 7 minutes. So he's speaking to the Japanese ambassador and is sending the civil aviation authorities to Japan to one of the important airport in Tokyo to just generate the data, to collect the data. How the people, what process they are able to follow, how they are able to clear the immigration within 5 to 7 minutes. Right? So the industry are in the same, the people are in the same industries. They are able to use the process, but one company is able to reduce the defect level. The other company is not able to control the defect level. They are using the same process. So one company, they doesn't want to have the more scrap on it. They want to control the defect level. So what they're going to do, they're going to stop the process and they want to benchmark the practice of the other companies. So they are able to collect the data. How the people are able to perform this process, how they are able to keep the process under the control, how they are able to control the defects. The level of defect is controlled. We are doing the same business and we are following the same process to clear the immigration, but we are not able to clear the immigration. Even the Tokyo, you can see the long queue, but the immigration authorities is able to clear within 5 to 7 minutes. How it is possible? You are able to just benchmark your practice with your competitor practice. Is it clear or not, guys? Hello, clear?
Yeah, clear, Bala.
Yes, it's clear.
So, okay, now, if you want to collect the data, if you want to gather the data with a larger audience and larger respondents, what is the appropriate data gathering technique you're going to use?
Survey.
Yeah, survey. Survey, or you'll be getting the feedback, right, Ms. Kala?
Yeah.
And please note down, this will be what? Questionnaires and surveys. Please note down, questionnaires and surveys. Questionnaire and surveys. Questionnaire and surveys is one of the important data gathering technique if you want to just collect the things or data from the larger respondents, right? And very common in the adaptive method, they're going to collect the feedback. So when they're going to collect the feedback, once you're going to bring the product owner into the product review or iteration review, you are able to collect the feedback, whether they can accept it, whether they are not able to accept it. So these are the various kind of data gathering techniques. Some organization may use what all the things we have listed and what all the things we have studied right now. And many organizations will not use, they will go with only the brainstorming, or they're going to conduct some interview, or they're going to do some benchmarking practice. So try to just know all the things which is coming under the data gathering. Without gathering the data, we are not able to analyze our data. We are not able to make any kind of assessment on the data. So data should be gathered, then it is very easy for you to analyze the data. So data analysis, once we are coming to the appropriate process, what all the things which is coming under the data analysis, we are able to see that one. Then once we are able to assess the data, we are able to take a decision on each and every data. Then we'll go with the one of decision-making techniques. So one of the decision-making technique we have seen already. Can anyone remember what is the decision-making technique we have made? There are a lot of data analysis technique, analytical technique. So we will see that one in appropriate process. So we are finished with the data gathering. So we will see the data analysis technique or assessment technique in the future process. Once we are coming to the appropriate process. The third one is you have to take a decision on the data which is assessed. So you have to make a decision-making techniques. So what a technique we see? Last class we seen this one. Can anyone remind me? Can anyone remind me what kind of decision-making technique we have done? Vijay Babu, Nitin, Faisal, Mr. Rajendra, Arman, Yuvraj, Pavan, Varun. Can anyone remind me what kind of data?
Project selection.
Yes. What method we have used? Vinod, what method we have used? Vinod?
Yes,
Scoring model, right?
yes.
Then what is the name of the scoring model we are given? Multi-criteria, right? Multi-criteria decision analysis, right? So multi-criteria decision analysis, a scoring model or weighted scoring model, or we're going to call this one as a prioritization matrix. The prioritization matrix is one of the decision-making technique. You have to make your decisions, right? So what else will be coming under the decision-making technique? I will not repeat for the future process. I'll be going in detail about the data analysis. A lot of data analysis tools are there. Techniques are there. We'll be doing that one. You can include any other thing under the decision-making technique other than the multi-criteria decision analysis. In a day-to-day life, for you to select your brand items. So you will be coming with the various brand and you will be coming with your criteria. Price will be one of the criteria. cycle will be one of the criteria. Resale will be one of the criteria. Usage will be one of the criteria. So all this will be coming as a criteria. Each and every criteria will be having its own percentage share. Totally, it should be 100%. Once you're going to break the criteria and the sum, once you are able to sum up, all should be 100%. And you're going to bring all your brands, your options, and you're going to evaluate which option is the best option for you to choose, right? So it can be used for you to select your team member by multi-criteria decision analysis. For you, you can use in your daily life for you to select your brand car, brand mobile phones, right? You can use this one for you to select your investments, where you can do the investments, which project you can do the investments. You can use this one for you to select your vendors, your contractors, your seller, your service providers. You can use this one to select your registered office, for you to select your audit firm to do audit, which auditor firm can do your audit. That will be best, cheap and best. So all this, you can use that one. So is there any other technique is used under the decision-making technique? Hello? Hello? There is
Payback method.
one decision-making technique is available in front of you. In the toolbox, you can see one of the decision-making technique.
Expert judgment.
Yes, please note on expert judgment, correct. The expert judgment is otherwise called as a juries, right? Juries. Okay. Which country you are living right now, everyone? You are living in a democratic country or living in an autocratic country? You are living under a prime minister or president rule, or your king is ruling you guys?
Monarch.
Okay, monarchy, right? The king is ruling us, right? Okay, in India
Yes.
or in subcontinent, like a Ceylon, like a Pakistan, what we have, how we are able to choose our leaders? How we are able to,
People,
Voting.
common people can.
please note, voting is one of your decision-making technique, right? Voting is one of the important decision-making technique. Don't try to lose this one. Everything is relevant to our topic. The decision-making technique, multi-criteria, or the scoring model, or the prioritization matrix is having various names. Apart from this, your juries, the expert judgment is one of the important decision-making technique. What is good, what is not good, the expertise is going to give the experienced people is going to give their complete expertise. The jury's judgment will be one of the decision-making technique. Other decision-making technique will be coming in the form of voting. Okay, who's ruling us in India right now? Which party is ruling India?
BJP.
Okay, why? How the BJP is able to rule us? What they have in the parliament? What they have in the parliament? What they have in the parliament?
Majority.
Yeah, please note, majority is one of the voting process. Majority.
Majority.
If any vote is going to cast more than 50%, 51%, right? If any vote is casted more than 51%, that particular party becomes a majority. So if any ideas is voted more than 51%, that idea will be selected for implementations. And once you are deciding to use the voting process for you to take a decision on the assessed data, don't try to use the even number for you to take the majority decisions. Why? Why you should not use the majority for you to just use the majority even number for the majority voting process?
It can lead to equal votes.
Yes, if it is going to end up in ties, if you're going to bring 10
Ties.
people, 5 people is going to support an idea, 5 people will be going with an idea, right? So you need to reconduct this particular voting process. It will take a lot of time. So try to use the odd numbers. Right? So that will be a majority. Okay. Okay. You're going to bring 11 people. 3 people is going to support a decision. 4 people is going to support one decision. 1 person is going to support one decision, and 1 person is going to support other decision. 2 people is going to support the different decisions. So you're able to get the majority here. You're able to get the majority here.
No.
No. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Which is the highest number here? 4, right?
Combining 2 ideas.
No. 4 is the largest number, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So please, you're going to select a largest block. You're going to select a largest block. This kind of voting process is called as a plurality. What is that? You are not able to bring a majority in your voting process for you to take a decision, but you're going to select which is the largest block. So what is the idea? What is the decision technique? What is the name given for this particular decision-making technique?
Plurality.
Plurality. So largest block will make you to go for plurality, right? Now, Miss Kala,
Yes, Bala.
you have to do this, obey my orders. So one person is taking a decision, another person has to follow that, right? So this kind of decision-making technique is called as autocratic. Please note down, autocratic. Autocratic. Okay, next class is on when? Our next
Wednesday.
After tomorrow.
Wednesday, day after tomorrow, right? What will be the time
26.
starting the class? 7 o'clock, right? 7 to 9, right?
Yeah.
So everyone is accepting the single course of actions, right? I'm giving this information, everyone is accepting, right or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we are doing here, we are unanimously accepting one single course of action. This is called as unanimous. Unanimity. What is that? Unanimity. Unanimously, no objection is coming. Before that one, no person is able to object because one person is giving the order, command, is commanding Ms. Kala to do that. So that is an autocratic. But here, no one is raising any objection, but only one person is giving the order, but everyone is accepting that one unanimously. So that becomes a unanimity. So don't try to forget this, all the decision-making technique. Voting process is very important. They're going to test your things in the soft skills. So we went through majority, we went through plurality, we went through autocratic, and we are coming into unanimity. Is it clear or not, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, please note down.
Yeah.
There are two important decision-making techniques which is used in the adaptive environment. So they collected the data. They're able to generate the data. They're able to assess the data and they have to take the decision. So they'll be using two kind of technique. Please note down. They'll be using a technique called a fist of 5 or fist to 5. Fist of 5 or fist to 5. So we need to take a decisions. So I'll be asking whether to go with this decision or whether to go with this decision A or decision B. I'm going to support decision A. How many people in this group is going to support the decision A? If the majority of the people is going to completely, they're going to close the complete fist. You know the fist, right? Your arm. Hello? You are not opening any fingers from your fist. Completely all the fingers are closed. That means the facilitator will understand the people are not giving any kind of support. For me to just select a decision, the team members, they have to at least open 3 fingers. Even they're going to open 2 fingers from their fist. They are not ready to support. I need to inquire with them why you are not supporting. If they're going to show, the entire team is going to show 3 fingers. That means I can implement this decision. I can I can implement these decisions. If the people is going to come with all the 5 fingers are open, that means they are giving the absolute support. Is it clear or not, guys?
Yes.
So this is called as a fist of 5 or fist to 5. This is one of the important decision-making technique. Fist to 5 or fist of 5, right? Another one is, the other one very common, the adaptive environment is going to use is called as Roman voting. Please note on Roman voting. Roman voting. The Roman voting is very important decision-making technique for me to implement a decision. If I'm going to say, can we implement this decision? If anyone is going to open their thumbs up, that means they are giving the complete support for me to implement the decisions. If people are just giving the thumbs down, that means they are not ready with this decision. They are not okay with this decision. So this kind of technique is called as a Roman voting. Is it clear or not, guys? Thumbs up and thumbs down. Any doubts you have? No, right? Can I proceed?
Yes, Bala.
Okay, I'll proceed. We have to see the question also, right? Okay. Now, the interpersonal and team skills. Many things are there. Especially, they're going to call this one as a conflict management. You know very well, one of the important criteria you're going to guideline into the team charter is that how to resolve the conflicts. How to resolve the conflicts. So, conflict is good or bad? Conflict is good or bad?
Can be good or bad.
Neither good,
Neither
neither bad. So what is the reason for the people? What is the reason for the people to have the conflicts? What is the reason for the people who will have the conflicts? Why the people are conflicting? Why the people are so
Personality clash.
conflicting?
Suppose they are having
Sometimes
the
personality
other
clash.
opinion, other ideology.
Okay. So people viewpoints are not integrated. They are not able to listen to other people's viewpoints, right? According to the Project Management Institute, you may have a different perspective, but according to the project management body of knowledge, they are saying that scheduling priorities is one of the important conflict factors. Scheduling priorities is one of the important first factor for the people to have the conflicts. I know very well that you can't complete this particular work and you don't have the skills in completing this work. You will delay this work, and that will disturb my outputs. Once I am ready to integrate, you are not able to ready to integrate with my work. So the foolish management has given you the 10 days for you to complete this work. I know that you can't complete this one within 10 days. So scheduling priorities is an important thing for you to have the conflicts. Next come the personality. The personality behavior between two people. If you don't like a person, there will be a conflict. Even is going to give you the good things, you will not listen to him. You doesn't want to listen to him. So the personality behavior also is one of the important conflicting factor. Of course, the money also will be one of the important conflicting factors. Right? Now you need to resolve the conflicts. Very important criteria as a project manager, as a team leader. Once I'm going to develop my team, after giving them a formal and informal training, they're going to move to perform for the team, perform for the project. So once they start performing the work, I need to manage my team. The team will be having various kind of conflicts. So I make sure that the team has to resolve the conflicts. If it's getting escalated, then I need to come into scenarios. This particular conflict management is not applicable for me to manage the conflict happening between the team members. Even this will be helping me to just resolve the conflict between the stakeholders. Right? So, you're ready, guys? You're ready? So, once it is coming to the resource management, after you acquire your complete team and you brought your team directory, the next thing is that you have to develop your team, make sure that each and every skill set are matching with each other by giving them a formal and informal training. Then you have to assess your team members. So once you are formally and informally assessing them, then the team start, you need to manage your team performance. So you have to know that who is going to do the good performance and who's going to do the bad performance. And there will be a lot of conflicts will be happening in the team environment. So you need to manage with your resolutions. You need to come with your ready-made resolution to manage the conflict once it is escalated to you. So the same conflict and resolution technique will be helping you to resolve your stakeholders also, right? You're ready, right? The best ever a conflict resolution technique for you to just get the win-win solution will be called as what? Collaborations. Or this can be called as a problem solving. Problem solving. It will be giving the win-win solution for both the parties. So if the examination point of view is going to ask which is one of the very important topmost conflict resolution technique will be giving the permanent solution for both the opposing party, collaborations or problem solving. So being a project manager, once it is escalated, make sure that you need to know about which party is conflicting with each other. You have to just know their roles and responsibilities. And you need to know the intensity of the conflicts. And you need to make sure that whether you need to take a long-term approach or you need to come with a short-term resolutions. Right? Now, always you need to have a directive and collaborative approach. You should have a directive and collaborative approach. Try to collaborate the viewpoints, multiple viewpoints, and integrate them. Try to understand why the people are conflicting with each others. Try to bring them to the board. Listen to each other and give them a resolutions. Make them to understand the project objective is very important at this juncture. We can just have the conflict. We can discuss this one after the project is getting completed. Make the team member to understand what reason they brought here and what is the benefit they're going to get from the projects. If they are able to complete the project objective without conflicting with each other. Making the team to understand that people are going with the happy phases and the people are able to get the permanent solution for them. They are not able to, they will not hereafter conflict with each other. So this will be one of the important technique and most important and most satisfying technique, resolutions, collaboration and problem solving. Sometimes it is called as confrontations. So this kind of conflict resolution technique will be called as a confrontation. You are able to confront the other people problem, right? Hello, guys, you are there?
Yes, but
The second one is compromise. What is the spelling? C-O-M-P. Compromise, right? Compromise, or we can call this one as the reconcile. Reconcile. So again, two opposing party is coming to you. It's escalated. You are coming into the scene, and you want to resolve the conflicts. And you are able to get the viewpoints from each other. You are able to integrate that one. You are giving a solution that people are not listening to the solutions. You are able to understand the ego is an important thing that people are having this kind of conflicts. So you are making the people to understand, to blend their egos. You're asking the people to give up something from their end. Okay, I think that this is the ego that is defending you, and this is the ego that is defending you. So that's the reason you have the conflicts. Try to give up your egos. So you're making the people to understand what thing is important right now. It's a do or die situations. Many things are kept at the stakes. So you need to complete this particular project. So give up something from both the ends. So be amicable. So you are able to resolve the conflict by using this kind of by giving them this kind of resolution. That will be compromise or reconciling by making the people to give up something. You're blending both the people egos, right? Always, once you are giving the resolution and make the people to understand, you become a winner, and the people are giving something, they lose. So it becomes a win-lose solutions. So examination point of view, any scenario is asking you to give up something. That means you have to choose a compromise or reconcile. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear?
yes, Bala.
Okay. Since I'm not able to use the same kind of resolution because the environment changes, the conflicting party changes, I need to come with a different kind of resolution. The other one is called as direct or force. Directing and forcing is something that you keep on advising the people, but the people is not listening to. Always they are making a fight, and you are getting a memo from the head office that they got a particular thing from the contractors that the contractor can't work peacefully because our people are fighting there. What you are doing as a project manager, not controlling your own people. This is a last warning we are giving from the management, the head office. If you are not able to control your people who's reporting under you and they keep on arguing with each other, and if we are going to get any single complaint from the contractors working with us in the project site office, and that will be the last day for you, all three people. You will not work as a project manager. That two people will not work as a team members. Will discard you guys. So far, last 15 years, you are having this kind of building. You have built up this kind of reputation. You have very good reputation with the management. Because of these two people, your subordinate, you have got the bad reputation from the head office. So what are you going to do? You are right now, you're going to be smooth, or you're going to show the other side of your face. What are you going to do at this junction? Still, you'll be handling smoothly, or you're going to show your face, other face.
Please.
You'll be showing the other side of your face, right? Or you doesn't want to be so harsh, but someone is going to push you back. Kala, do this. Don't try to lose your reputation because of these two guys. So far, you guys done a very good job. Because of these two people, don't try to lose your reputation from your management. So what are you going to do? Okay, this is the last warning from my side. You see me very smoothly. Right now, I'm going to be a very rugged person, very rough person. And any complaint is going to raise from your side. I will be the person to write a memo to the head office to make a corporate disciplinary action on two people. I'll see to that you will not take any job in the Middle East for next 5 years. I just request the management to make your passport as a blacklist passport. You will not fly to any kind of international destiny. So what the people will do? You're making the people to fall in your feet. You're forcing them. You're not giving them a solution, temporary. You're not giving them a permanent solution. You're making the people to fall in your feet. You're going to be a winner and you're making the team member as a loser. Is it clear or not, guys? Right? Right, guys?
Yes.
Right. And since you are not able to use the same kind of resolution, what you're going to do, you able to smooth the environment, smoothing, or you try to accommodate the defeat. Okay, you're writing so much of a memo, being a project manager, writing a memo to the management that one of your team member is keep on disturbing you. You are having a conflict regularly. You are making a conflict with them. But nothing was noticed. Still, the conflict is happening between you and your person sitting next to you, your peer. And at last, you've done your investigation. You found out that particular person who's conflicting with you is very close relative of the management. So that's the reason the management is throwing all your memos and complaint letters in the dustbin, in garbage. So what are you going to do? You having a lot of liabilities and very big families depending upon you back home. So what are you going to do? You're going to resign, or you're going to work very smoothly there without creating any problem. You want to maintain a peace. You want to maintain a harmony. So what are you going to do? You will accommodate the defeat, right or not? Right
Yes.
or not? Market condition is not good. You will not be able to get your job. So you have a lot of liabilities in Qatar and outside the Qatar. Big family is depending upon you. Your family members are depending upon you. You need to you're taking a lot of loans. So what you have to do, you will smooth yourself. You want the smooth environment. You want to maintain the friendship. You want to maintain the harmony. You want to maintain the peace. You are making the atmosphere smooth and you want to accommodate your defeat, making the other people to win. So this will also give you the win-lose solutions. And at last, the last one is a withdrawal. A withdrawal, or we can call this one as a retreat. Withdrawal or retreat. So this also will be giving the win-lose solution. You are not able to come with a permanent solution. You will be coming with a temporary solution. Again, the problem will be same problem will bounce back. Two important people are fighting with each other and you're getting the information from the management to resolve the conflict. These two people are subject matter expert. The management is insisting you not to lose these two expertise. Amicably, you just settle the conflicts. So you're calling the team for the meeting and you are listening to their viewpoints. What makes you to go for a conference? At one stage, you are able to see the people are arm twisting. They are using their hand to ready to box, ready to fight. So what are you going to do? You will be adding more fuel in the blaze to get more fire. What are you going to do? You'll be adding more fuel. Already it's burning. Vijay, what are you going to do, Mr. Vijay Babu?
We will withdraw and be smooth.
Okay. I think that our debate is heated up. So, guys, I think that we can meet after at 4 o'clock in the same area. Before you go to home, you come and meet me. So you are not able to give a solution for them. You are able to withdraw from there. You are able to retreat, and you're meeting them at 4 o'clock because the management has insisted not to lose those two people. And at 4 o'clock also, the debate is just stretching for 5 o'clock. Again, the people start using their arms. They start using they're ready to box. So you're not able to come with the solutions. What are you going to do? 10 days from tomorrow, I'm going for a short vacation. I think that until I'm coming back, you need to work in Lucid and he has to work in Ras Al Khaimah. So I already spoken to the management. So this is the resolutions. So you're able to resolve the problem in a temporary basis or permanent basis.
Temporary.
temporary. So it's called as a withdrawal or a retreat. So this all for 5 conflict resolution technique will be having 2 names. The first one, which is going to give the win-win solution for the both the parties, will be collaborations, or we're going to call that one as a confrontations or problem solving. The second one is a compromise or reconcile. We are making the people to give up something. We are pleading them to give their egos. The third one, someone is forcing you to take a strict action because the people keep on fighting with them. So you want to resolve by coming with the harsh punishments. So you are directing them or forcing them to fall in your feet. The fourth one is that knowing that particular conflicting party is very close to the management, so it doesn't want to take any kind of action on them. So you have a lot of liabilities. You want the environment should be peaceful environment. You want to maintain the harmony, and there's no switchover for you at this time. So you want to maintain smoothness. You are going to accept the defeat and making the other person to win. So that will be smoothing or accommodating. Finally, you are not giving the permanent solution. You are coming with a temporary solution. Again, the problem will bounce back. So this kind of conflict resolution will be called as a withdrawal or a retreat. Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, no problem.
So this is a very important technique that will be used for you to manage the conflict in the project, the managed team process. And once you are managing the stakeholder engagement, if the conflict is going to happen between the 2 stakeholders, you'll be using the same kind of resolution, knowing the environment. You need to know the intensity of the conflicting parties, intensity of the conflict. You need to know the environment, why the conflict is happening. After having the good understanding, try to use the resolutions. Same resolutions you can't use. You need to use a different kind of resolutions. See the scenario, apply the resolutions. You're able to see a questions in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are done with the 10 questions, right? Last class.
Yes.
Okay. So come forward, everyone. So the 11th one, a project manager is leading a multi-year project that involves internal and external stakeholders. As the project manager begins to gather the requirements, additional business stakeholders express interest in making involved. Which 3 actions should the project manager take to ensure proper stakeholder involvement? Choose 3. So you have 5. So you have to choose 3 from available 5. So this is multiple correct answers. So don't try to expect all the questions are multiple choice. A few questions are multiple correct answer questions. So you have to select 3. So what will be your take?
A.
Okay, A. 1 minute. Okay. So you are going with A, right?
B.
E.
Okay, E.
B.
B.
B, yeah.
Okay.
A, B, E, yeah.
So you're able to omit a C and D, right? This is a correct pickup? Is there any other contract? Can anyone come with a different kind of answers? The selected answers are correct or incorrect? Can we go with the A, B, and E? Please. See, include all the stakeholder in the stakeholder engagement plan and provide the same level of communications. Your car driver is one of the stakeholder who's going to bring you from your accommodation to the project site office. So you'll be providing the same level of communication. What you're going to provide to the project director, guys?
No.
No. So that is ruled out, right? Because you need to make sure that which stakeholder is highly influenced and which stakeholder doesn't have the influence, which stakeholder is more powerful and which stakeholder is not having any power, which stakeholder is having a keen interest and which stakeholder is not having the interest. Who's the influencing stakeholder, who's the less influencing stakeholder? You need to classify all this. Based on that only, you are able to make sure what kind of engagement strategy will work out. If the person is having the less interest, I need to turn into more interest. So you need to make sure that that kind of strategy you need to work out, right? So the D is ruled out. So what else you can rule out? Prioritize stakeholder based on the project phase and need, right? So you're breaking the project into multiple phases and you know very well which stakeholder is having the key stake in each and every phase, right? So this can be correct. Perform stakeholder assessment to align with the project objectives. Hello? Can we go with B?
Yes, Bharat.
Okay. What about the classify and rank? They are asking very clearly proper stakeholder involvement. Without classifying and ranking the stakeholder on their position in the organization, you are able to know about the stakeholder assessments. See, the stakeholder assessment you can do once you are planning your stakeholder register, right?
Yeah.
So once you're planning your stakeholder, you need to prioritize your stakeholder, which stakeholder is important stakeholder for this phase of the project, and which stakeholder are less important for this phase, and which stakeholders are important to the further phases, right? So the answer A is correct. But classify and rank the stakeholders. This is correct, right? On what basis it is correct? You have to rank your stakeholders, right? You have to classify the stakeholders, right? How are you going to classify the stakeholders? How are you going to classify the stakeholders?
Based on influence.
Okay.
Influence. Based on influence.
So classification can be who all your positive stakeholders, right? Who all your negative stakeholders, right?
Yes.
Who all your resistor, who doesn't want any decision to be implemented, they are resisting always. And who are your supporters, right? And who all the person will be neutral stakeholders, who sitting either he is a supporter, neither he is a resistor, or some stakeholder is having a key stake, but he doesn't know what is happening around them, so they are unaware. So you are able to classify your stakeholder accordingly. Based on this only, you are able to know about the stakeholder involvement, right? So assessment will come in the planning stage, but this is happening in the initial stage. So proper stakeholder involvement is happening in the initiation stage. So correct answer for you to choose is prioritize the stakeholder based on the project phase and need, classify the stakeholder and rank the stakeholder on their position, develop the stakeholder impact and influence matrix based on the level of engagement. This is not correct and this is not correct. All the three which is corrected, A, C and E is happening in the initiation phase of the project, and B is happening in the planning stage. After the initiation stage, once the stakeholder lists are completely ready, then only you can do the assessments. Hello?
Clear.
Right?
Clear,
A.
Bharat.
And a D is something is it's a very wrong answer. You can't give the importance to all the stakeholders. You can give the level of information, what is the required level of information to the crane operator, that level of information only you can give. You can't give the information which you are sharing with your project director or the seniors, right? So we can go with A, C and E. Can we go for the 12th one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
12th one. And again, I'm saying that this all the question is not made by any commercially available websites. It's given by the exam security board. The same question will be repeated in your examinations. So the 12th one, a critical deliverable for the current iteration is giving a team difficulties, functionality and quality issues are constantly emerging and delaying the iteration progress. The project manager listened to the team concerns and discovered that the work is not being well coordinated among the team members. Which two actions should the project manager take to handle the situations? You have to choose 2 from available 5. See, the team is not getting the cooperation with the other team, right?
Mm.
Right. So that makes the people to lose their velocity in each and every iterations, right? There are a lot of issues, right? So project manager should be proactive or a project manager should be reactive, which is good for the project manager. Always the project manager should be proactive.
Proactive.
Why you need to wait until the retrospective meeting? So this is not correct, right? Provide clear instruction on how the work should flow among the team members.
C.
Huh?
Can we
B and
See,
D.
he should not give the clear instruction because once you're working in adaptive environment, you know you become a servant leader, right? So there is no instructions, right? Right or wrong?
Yes.
Because you know very well, adaptive project will be done through iterations and predictive project will be done through phases, right? So this is also wrong. Okay. Schedule an iteration backlog refinement meeting to understand the issues. Right? Hello.
This. Yeah, this sounds matching, right?
What about the D and E? Set up a one-on-one meeting to provide a feedback on to the team members.
Yeah, C and D.
No, what about the E also? Prioritize the issues
Yeah.
focusing on the one affecting the iteration goal.
C and E.
C and D.
Okay, schedule an iteration backlog refinement meeting to understand the issues, right? C. C we can go, right? Okay. So D or E?
E.
E.
The project manager. So quality issues are constantly emerging and delaying the iterations. The project manager listen to the team concern and discover the work is not being well coordinated among the team. Okay. Current iteration having team difficulty, functionality, and quality issues. Okay. What about D or E?
E.
Huh?
E. E.
D or E? For us, everything is correct, right?
E sounds more good because
So
second, I mean,
please note, so you are able to prioritize the obstacles, the issues. Right? So what is in the current iteration, your goal should not be affected, right?
yes.
So you are focusing that particular issue between the team members. So we can go with the C and E. C and E. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
So what is the 13th one? You're able to see the 13th one?
Yes.
A
Yes.
project manager is tasked with developing a coach model to support and recognize the team members' growth. What should the project manager consider when defining the coaching strategy? You have 4 options in front of you. A says that you need to focus on individual and personal objectives. B is asking you to go with the organization strategic goals. And C is asking you to just establish a pattern of communication. The last one is the project team shared objectives.
A. Alpha.
Okay. A. Why not B? Why not C and why not D?
Because it is related to the concerned person's growth and something like that. I mean, it's concentrated on that particular
Oh.
person only.
So you are going to adapt a coaching model to support and recognize each and every team members, right? So individual and personal objectives, being a servant leader. Is it clear or not, guys?
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's not a shared objective, individual objective, right? Each and every person will be having their own objectives, right? So you're going to just make sure that you are motivating for the people to attain their objectives. So the correct answer for you to select will be A, this one. So what will be the answer for 14? Known, however, the team is unsure of the available option to remove these obstacles. What should the project manager do next? Obstacle will come in any format. Conflict between two people will be an obstacle. You are ready to integrate, but the other person is not ready to integrate with their work. That is an obstacle. The computer is not working. That is an obstacle.
B.
The calculator-
Bravo.
Huh?
Guide the team to determine the alternatives.
Yeah. Bravo.
Guide the team to determine the alternatives. Right? So B is a correct answer. So 14, it will be, anyone is having a different answer other than B for 14? Can we go for 15th one? Okay. The 15th one, I just request humbly all the participants to participate, please, Don't be a mute spectator. Please come with your answers. The 15th one, an internal virtual team is meeting daily to review an iteration progress, as well as to conduct other technical and follow-up calls with the key stakeholders. The team seems to be disengaged. So how should the project manager approach these situations? Your 4 options. The people are less motivated. They are not committed to the work. The team is going to lose its productivity. So at this juncture, as a team leader or a project manager or agile coach, what I need to do?
B.
Huh?
B.
B.
A.
Yeah, reduce the number of internal and external meetings. Okay, why A, ma'am?
Because meeting is taking most of their time, right?
But you are working
Yeah,
in
other option.
but you are working in adaptive project, but the meetings are
Correct.
right?
Correct. But here we cannot reduce the workload because of the meetings. Right? Review the
But,
team assignment.
But the question is not giving you anything about the meetings, right?
Yeah.
The team seems to be disengaged. So what?
Reduce the work.
They
C.
never given that because
C.
of the meeting they are disconnected. They
C.
are not. Huh?
Or
C.
team build schedule one. C.
Okay,
But
see.
because of the meetings, can we reduce the task and all? We cannot reduce it, right? In the adaptive methodology.
Okay, adaptive methodology, yeah.
In that case, we cannot go for C also.
Plus
We
the task
cannot.
also, what task you need to perform to complete each and every feature, that also time boxed, right?
Yeah.
Because each and every task will be having its own specific hours to complete, right? 5 hours, 4 hours, depending upon
Correct.
the feature size, depending upon the planning poker method. So the correct answer will be B. The correct answer will be B. Team building meetings.
Team building. Okay.
Team building. So that's a very important thing because here we never came here to win the matches. The complete team, you need to have a teamwork, and that teamwork has to win the complete championships, right? So team building meeting is very important. You need to start the team building meeting from the day 1, right? Make your team to make a team to go through the progress through various stages, right? So schedule 1-to-1 meetings, and you need to conduct the team building meetings. So what kind of team building meetings you're going to conduct with the team for them to get engaged? You can take your team one day outside for you to conduct any status or progress review meeting. You can do that, right? Outdoor meetings. You can do that, right?
Yeah.
Being a proactive project manager or a good team leader, where you can just buy something from the pastries, from the bakery, and you can serve them for morning breakfast. Or you can take to them during the lunch break, you can take them nearby hotels. Or you can call them for nightclubs. Don't try to compel anyone to drink, but these people want to socialize themselves. This will be one of the team team building activities. What else you can do? You can play the cards with them, right? You can play many games with them. Playing with your team, that team will stay forever with your team. You can just play bungee jumping. You can play in football. You can play hockey with them. You can play cricket with them, right? But ensure that your team members and you are having sufficient insurance coverage. Right or wrong? And you can take your team outside for 2 or 3 days, and in night time you can have your campfire. You can make the people to go for a karaoke singing. Many things you can do. Make the people social. You can socialize with your team members, or you can just select a old homage, and you can serve some food for the whole old people, right? Or you can take the people to the nearby beach, and you can ask the people to collect some garbages nearby the things. So that will be one of the team building meetings activities. So what will be the answer for the 15th? It will go for B, 15B. So what will be the answer for 16th one? A major transportation construction project is aimed at significantly reducing emissions. The project has been severely delayed due to non-compliance with environmental codes and bylaws. What should the PM have done to prevent this? This is very clearly a business environment questions. Business environment question. So what will be your answers?
C.
Incorporated sufficient scheduled reserves based on the similar delays in past projects. Okay,
D.
why D and why not C? Why D and why not C?
Because it is identifying the risk and preparing the mitigation plan.
Mitigation.
Okay.
So
D.
being a PM, it should be proactive.
Okay. So the delay due to non-compliance is one of your risks, right? And you have to mitigate this, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So what happened here? Will be very clear. You need to map your environmental compliance requirements. You're going to find out whether it's going to delay. If you're not meeting the compliance, find out the schedule impacting risk and try to mitigate that. Right? So D is very much correct. D is very correct. So can we go with the D? D for Denmark for the 16th one, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, D. So can we go for 17th one? The 17th one, project acceptance criteria include on-site training for the new use of a system. Due to unforeseen circumstances, all the team members have to work remotely for an indefinite period of time, maybe like a pandemic, like COVID-19. What should the project manager do? He has to reschedule all the on-site training to online sessions, or he has to document this one as a project issue and he has to provide options, or he has to create a risk and assign remediation actions, or he has to cancel all the on-site training sessions.
B or C.
No, which one? You can't play inky-pinky popping game. You have to go with an appropriate because it's a psychological exam. It will be testing the individual psychology. It will make you to know about your experience, whether you have a skills in giving the correct answers. Being a project manager, on-spot decision you have to take. So they will not ask you to go with the correct answer. Always they make you to select an appropriate and best answer.
C. Create a risk and assign remediation action.
Okay. See, it's not, see, you know very well that due to unforeseen circumstances, all the team members.
Alpha.
In the
A.
Right? Okay.
A.
A is correct.
Yep.
You can't do this one. This one is the correct wrong answer because for you to get the acceptance criteria, you have to get the trainings. But due to unforeseen circumstances, your training is cancelled because the people are working in remote. What about this? What about this? Document the project issue.
But that is not an action. Proactive project manager.
Which one, sir?
D1 is a
See,
document.
actually, due to unforeseen circumstances, all the team members has to work remotely.
Okay.
So this is no more risk. This has already become an issue, right?
B will be appropriate, I think.
This is already an issue, right? What is the difference between risk and issue? Risk yet to occur and issue is already occurred, right?
happening. Yeah.
So issue is or what? Already occurred risk. Risk is what? Yet to occur issue. So already occurred. The people is not able to come co-locate for the on-site training. So something has made them to work in remote, right? So they need to get the proper training. So what you have to do, document this one as a project issue and provide them an option. Right, sir? Reschedule on-site training and 2 online sessions. Before the rescheduling, you have to just make sure that you have to properly bring that one as the issue and you need to provide options when we can reschedule, what tool we have to use to reach the people. People are working in a different environment, time differences there. So you need to just know all the things, right? Right or wrong?
Yes.
So the correct answer.
But Bala, in the question, it's nowhere mentioned that there are multiple choices for this question. It has to be only one, right?
Yeah, only one.
Yeah, one only.
One only. The correct answer is that document the project issues and provide options. That's the one. B.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So what will be the answer for the 18th? Yeah, let me just take up. A project manager is leading a software development project that will assist in maintenance management through a power plant. The project manager is analyzing project performance data and trying to forecast if the project will have any slippage in future. So what should the project manager do? He has to perform the schedule analysis, or he has to perform the quality control analysis, or he has to perform the trend analysis, or he has to go to the root level to perform the root cause analysis.
B and D is not the answer. We
Okay,
have to go
B and D.
B, D ruled out.
Okay, B and D is ruled out. Why B and D is ruled out?
So it's related. Yeah, quality. We are not talking about quality control or root cause analysis here. We are going to forecast the performance, project performance, right?
Your forecasting will have any slippage.
A or B?
Yeah.
A or
A or B, because we are doing the forecast.
forecasting.
C and D looks like C based on historical data, and root cause also
But
based
Problem.
on
okay,
problem.
Yeah, it's a problematic.
See, after,
A and B, A or B.
after you have a problem, then only you are able to know whether how the problem occurred, right? But this is something you are able to forecast, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what is the correct answer?
A.
I think B.
Okay. See, B is
related-
very clearly said that it's not going to speak anything in the book. It's not speaking about the
Quality.
quality, right?
Yeah.
And this also is ruled out. Now the tough competition is between A and C.
Trend and scheduled. Yeah. Yeah. C.
Okay. Guys, what the meteorological department will do with the data? What they're going to do with the data? They will not
They will do the trend analysis.
They will not do the trend analysis. They will not use the same data over a period of time to know whether it's going to sunshine, whether it's going to snowfall, whether it's going to be cloud, whether it's going to be precipitations. They use the same data to trend over a period of time, right? So doing that, they are able to forecast the weather, right or not, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So the forecasting method is nothing but trend analysis. Trend analysis. So trend analysis, 18C, C for China is the correct answer, C. Can go with the 19th one. Project.
Shall we continue tomorrow?
Why, sir? Oh, only 4 to 5 questions are there.
Okay.
We'll finish. We'll finish this 19th one at least. Hello?
Okay, because looking tired.
No, only one, 19th.
It's okay.
Yes,
The project has been reporting a declining schedule performance index for the past 4 reviews. No corrective action is under development, and the project team does not seem to be concerned. What should the project manager do first to address the SPI? See, SPI is one of the technique that will be helping you to just know whether the schedule is underperformed, overperformed, or exactly performed. Is clear, guys? So now, for you to understand, if SPI is going to be equal to 1, that means you are right on the target. If SPI is less than 1, then you know very well that you are behind your schedule. And if SPI shows that if it is going to be greater than 1, you are ahead of your schedule, right? So what you planned, you are able to achieve in the same target date, you are able to achieve. Here, you are not able to achieve, you are delaying your work. Here, you are not delaying, you are just doing more work. So what it is indicating, every $1 you are doing investment for you to get your productivity, here the productivity is equal to 1, that means the project is good. Here, the productivity is less than good. You are able to plan more work, but the people are doing less work, they are losing the productivity. Here, you are able to do more than the planned work. Is it clear? So you are able to deliver the project before the deadline. Is it clear or not, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So what should the project manager do first to address the SPI trend? The report shows that there is a declining SPI index for past 4 reviews. There is no corrective action is taken.
Is it D?
Okay, D. So you want to scrap this, D. Why D and why not A, B, C?
Because it's
C is very clearly contact the project sponsor. Why the project sponsor has given the project to you? The sponsor is having other work to do, right?
Yes.
And also we cannot take A also, since scope we
Depending on
cannot.
the stakeholder, the scope needs to be released. No.
compromise. Yeah,
In case the project team create a plan that will deliver a benefit on the defined and incremental basis, right? But very clearly, this question is given, they are not given you the whether it's a predictive or adaptive, right?
yeah. So
So
in
the
that
correct
case,
answer is what? D is the correct answer. Meet the project schedule to re-baseline the project using more realistic schedule. Is it clear or not, guys? Because
Yes.
for last 4 reviews, you are able to see that there is a decline performance SPA. So that means the particular scheduler has not given you the current baseline schedule. Right, guys? You can't just carry forward this one, right? Wrong baseline for the future things. So ask him to re-baseline the schedule as a more realistic schedule. Is it clear or not, guys?
Yes.
Okay, we'll
Yes.
close the session with you now. So I'm going to record this one. I'm going to send this one along with the next class Zoom link. Thank you. Good night. Anything to say?
No, Bala. Thank you.
Good
No,
night.
thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Good night. See you on Wednesday. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bala. Thank you all.
Thank you.